How many of you felt the earthquake back in July? Notice the ridge crest earthquake. You're earthquake. All right. You're in Southern California. We're going to have earthquakes. Okay? How many of you have heard of the shakeout, the Great Shakeout? It happens every October here in Southern California. Okay? The idea behind the shakeout is that all of you who are in school every month do an earthquake drill, but when we leave school, we don't do it anymore. We don't do it at work. We don't do it in college. So in 2008, they said, let's try in Southern California to have an earthquake drill across the entire state and get everyone in every business to do it, every school. So those of you out there, the parents, how many of you do it at your workplace? Shakeout. Awesome. Back in 2008, I was one of the few people that was on the team that created the shakeout. And I'm currently still on that team. So it's good that you're doing that. But the key here is, do you know what to do when the earthquake starts happening? The Ridge Crest earthquake back in July was a 7.1 magnitude earthquake 150 miles from here. But y'all felt it, right? Out here? Pretty good shaker, right? It was a 7.1 out there. What was the magnitude here? 6. Parents, what did it feel like to you? Most of you are saying lower numbers. The fact is, there's only one magnitude. It was a 7.1 here. There's only one magnitude assigned to an earthquake. But what's different is the intensity. There's two scales we look at, magnitude and intensity. So the intensity in Ridge Crest was in the 6s. That means it's vigorous shaking. You're going to see damage. Here in Los Angeles, it was an intensity 3. Okay? The way the intensity scale works, going 1 through whatever, is that you will start feeling it at a 3. And at a 4, you're going to start seeing problems and damage. How many of you have downloaded the Shake Alert app that the City of Los Angeles has for warning of earthquakes on your phone? How many of you had it on that day, but it didn't go off and you're kind of angry that it didn't work? Okay? It works now. So what you can do when you leave here is there's an app called Shake Alert LA when you download it for free, and here's why it didn't work. Somebody thought that you should only get it if there's going to be problems, so they set it for an intensity 4. What they didn't realize is that people want to know about it if they feel it. So now they've taken it and they've reduced it to the intensity 3. You really won't know if it works or not until we have another earthquake, but I have another back-end part of that app, and I can assure you it works. Okay? I've seen it work. I've heard it work. I've got the warnings, and so it should work. Soon you'll be able to get an app where you decide what intensity you want it to go off in. That will happen soon. Okay? So here's the deal. The earth starts shaking. What do? Drop, cover, and hold on. That's fire. Drop, cover, and hold on. When it's shaking, you have to be concerned with stuff around you that might fall. So you get down on your knees, wherever you are, crawl under a desk or a table, protect your head with one hand, and put your hand on the table so it doesn't bounce away. Okay? That's drop, cover, and hold on. In Southern California, when we have earthquakes, it is rare, extremely rare, that you would see a building collapse. Where you'll see damaged buildings if buildings collapse is typically going to be the older buildings that haven't been retrofitted and buildings called soft story buildings. Anybody know what a soft story building is? It's those apartment buildings out there with parking underneath, so there's less holding it up, okay? But there's a law now in California requiring building owners to retrofit those buildings, okay? So here's the deal. You stop what you're doing, you get under desk or table, protect your head and neck. Sounds good. How many of you see a table out here? None, right? So, let's know. Every environment that you might be in is different. There's no guarantee you're going to have a desk or a table to get under. So let me talk about a few different environments and recommendations on what to do. Remember, your goal is not to get hit by stuff. Remember that. Your goal is not to get hit by stuff. Don't worry about roofs and buildings. These buildings especially those homes, like your 20-year-old home that you have, guess what? Those wood frame homes are going to creak and they're going to rattle, but they move, and it's rare that you get damaged because it has movement and give, and that's a good thing, okay? Sounds bad during the earthquake, sounds scary, but it's going to get through the earthquake. What's going to happen is cosmetic stuff, right? You'll might get some cracks in the wall, but the stuff on your shelves in your house might come down. Stuff's on the shelves in your kitchen might come down, right? So there's ways you could secure things so it doesn't come down in an earthquake. I'll talk about it in a second. But remember, don't get hit by this stuff. So in here, the best thing to do in here, the biggest possible hazard would be the lights, okay? So you look up. There are pipes above you, and those pipes have water in it, okay? So my recommendation would be is that if you're on the floor, to try to get towards the outer perimeter wall here and get against the wall, okay? So it's protecting one side of your body. If you're out there, you're just getting against the wall. Many of you have heard in the past, you go to a doorway. How many of you have heard that before? That's not something we recommend, okay? Years ago, we're talking a long time ago, they used to do that, but doors really don't offer you any more protection any other part of the building. The idea is to protect yourself. So an interior wall. You go to a wall, you go against it, the walls, let's say the wall's right in front of me here, I protect my head and neck, the wall protects the front of my body, I protect my head and neck, and I'm just vulnerable out here, okay? For those of you on the floor, you can get towards the outer perimeter wall here and drop and cover against the wall, okay? If you can't move, just stay where you are. Just stay where you are, get down like a turtle, okay, and protect yourself. Demonstrate. What's a turtle look like? Do it. Yeah, just like that, all right? Wherever you are. The earth shakes, you get through it, but then after the earthquake, what happens? Aftershock. What's an aftershock? It's another earthquake, and it could be just as bad or worse than the one you had. So, what we want to do is, now that we know the first one happened, it was pretty bad, we're going to get up, and the best thing to do would be at that point is make a decision whether you're going to end class and go, okay? Sometimes we'll have real minor earthquakes where you say to yourself, was that an earthquake or was that a truck going down Nordau, right? If you ask yourself that question, chances are it was very minor, you just move on. You just move on, just do your thing. But staff, if it's an earthquake that caused some significant concern, or as things started rattling, as things started breaking in here, then at that point, after the earthquake, class is over, we evacuate the building, everyone goes home, and then internally, we're assessing the building to make sure it's safe to return, okay? So 2 types of earthquake. The extremely minor, we're not even sure if it was an earthquake unless we check the web to see if it was. And then there's the, boy, that was an earthquake for sure, and that's where we're going to stop, and that's where we're going to close shop. We're going to assess, make sure things are safe, and resume when we can, have everyone come back the next day. Any questions about that? So, in an earthquake, other places you might be. Supermarket. What would you do in a supermarket?